Welcome back for another video. Who are the best players we should be buying for Gameweek 28? Whether you're going to free hit in 29 or not, we're going to cover both strategies and the best players to look at this week. And while it's fresh in the mind from the weekend after the FA Cup games, we can build a better picture now of Gameweek 34's blanks and therefore Gameweek 33's doubles. Graphic here from Ben Krellin on the left and the right from FPL team. It's not completely guaranteed that a team that blanks in 34 does double in 33. There is some chance that game could just move to midweek in 34 if both teams aren't in Europe, but double Gameweek 33 is what's expected. So Man City and Villa almost certain to be a double game week, around 95% chance in 33. Vardy, Marmoush, Haaland, Rodgers and Watkins could be really nice picks there. Brighton and West Ham also pretty likely to double if Brighton beat the winner of Forest versus Ipswich in the FA Cup. So there could be a few names there that spring to mind, like Bowen, Matoma, João Pedro and Welbeck perhaps. If Fulham beat Palace, then they and Southampton will double. Not many options there, but a Fulham defender could work nicely. However, let's not forget, Palace did just beat Fulham in the league. If they can beat them again in the FA Cup, then it'd be Arsenal and Palace that get a likely double in 33. The markets favour a Fulham win very slightly, hence they're not on the fixture ticker predictions here. That'd be a much better outcome though. Like, you could go double or triple Arsenal, and probably triple Palace as well. Because let's not forget, Palace are guaranteed to double in Gameweek 32 just before that, so it could be back-to-back doubles. So if you've still got the assistant manager chip, it might be Glasner you end up using it on. Now Newcastle got knocked out of the FA Cup by Brighton, which makes their double Gameweek 33 much less likely. Newcastle have got Ipswich in Gameweek 34, so the last hope of that being a blank is Ipswich beating Forest in the FA Cup, which is the last game to be played before the next round. So currently Villa, Brighton, Fulham, Man City, Southampton and West Ham predicted to double. If that's how it plays out, then it could really open up a lot of viable chip strategies. Like for example, maybe bench boost in 32, free hit 33 and then just wildcard in 34 or 35. Given that 34 could be an easy blank to navigate and you set yourself up for that week and also for the double in 36. And of course triple captain in 36 if you still got it. Anyway, we'll cover that and more in videos in the coming weeks, so make sure you're subscribed. Let's get into the players to buy. Goalkeepers first. It's a great week to have Alisson or a Liverpool defender given they're home to Southampton, and it's Alisson who's top of the keepers table, 4.2 projected points for Gameweek 28, playing at Anfield as well. Now of course Liverpool blank in Gameweek 29, so chip strategy is important and whether he's worth buying or not. Like if you're free hitting in Gameweek 29 and you need a keeper, then he makes perfect sense. Because it's such a good fixture this week, plus he comes out of the blank, home to Everton, and then he's got Fulham, West Ham and Leicester. If you need a keeper and you're not free hitting in Gameweek 29, then Raya is the logical pick. He's second on the table with 4 projected points, facing Man United, who just knocked out of the FA Cup by Fulham. They've really gotten off to a poor start under Amorim. They've got Chelsea in Gameweek 29 Arsenal, but like Liverpool, great fixtures after 29. And in general, there could be a team that finishes the season strongly, with Saka and Martinelli returning from injury around Gameweek 30. If Ederson could be trusted for starts, he'd low-key be a really nice pick, but that said, long-time subscribers of the channel will know what a troll he's been when I've picked him up in my team. Man City have got Brighton and Leicester home back-to-back in Gameweek 29 and 30. I think Vardy is going to be where most people turn their attention to if buying into City's defence to get through the blank. Now, Raya's 5.5 mil of course, so if you're in need of a budget keeper, I'd actually consider Kepa. He's not even on the table this week given he's away at Spurs, but he does have Brentford home and Ipswich home after that. On to the defenders next, and the caveat here is there's some incredible fixtures for teams playing this week that blank in 29, which makes the Liverpool and Palace defenders an avoid, unless you're free hitting the blank really. Like Trent's top this week, 5.9 points, Munoz 4.9, Van Dijk 4.6. Well played if you picked up Cucurella or Colwell from last week's video, they both ended up scoring, which is a bit mad. Over the last 6 game weeks, Trent's 2.04 XGI is highest among all defenders, then it's Cucurella 1.8, Vardy 1.5 and Munoz 1.4 XGI. Over the last 6 game weeks, no defender's got more points than Munoz though, besides Trent actually, but he's had 2 double game weeks. He's the perfect pick for Gameweek 29 free hitters if you need a defender this week. Either side of the blank, he faces Ipswich and Southampton. The points table here is from the Scouts members area. Use the link below to access all my data tables and all the other members tools you get, plus the premium articles. So yeah, the problem with Cucurella and Colwell is it's a week too late really. Last week was the entry point with Southampton home, and at the time it was 2 home games against 2 promoted teams. Instead, you're getting Leicester home and then Arsenal away, which isn't nearly as good. I'd only consider it really if you don't need to start them in Gameweek 29. Otherwise, consider Gabriel or Vardiel if you can afford a premium defender, or Aït-Nouri and Kirkes if you need a cheaper defender. Although Aït-Nouri is really attacking, the Wolves' defence just feels so untrustworthy. We've been here before earlier in the season actually, when he went on to massively disappoint in a very good fixture run. Agbadou's out injured as well, and he'd put in some good performances after arriving in January. So Kirkes would be my number one cheap defender to consider, or if you need to go really cheap, then Howson. Moving on to the midfielders next, and I've just about shaken off the stress of Palmer's blank, followed by having to watch Salah play. This week, the two of them are very close actually, but Salah leads with 9.3 projected points, 9.1 for Palmer. By the way, I just added a captaincy widget on FPL.page and on the app. It uses the exact same projection data from FPL Review that this video series uses. It's very handy if you want a quick glimpse of the best captains each week. So it's FPL.page or search FPL Focal in the App Store. Now, Eze's projections have received a massive bump here because of Mateta's injury, wishing him a speedy recovery by the way. But Eze's likely going to assume penalty duties now. It's not out of the question I suppose for him to let Nketiah take them as a confidence boost. Same boat as Munoz though, amazing pick this week if you're free hitting next week, otherwise avoid him. And Mbeumo's the one who ticks all the boxes, penalties, in form, doesn't blank. Only Salah's got a higher XGI over the last 6 game weeks and he's had 2 double game weeks in there. So prioritise Mbeumo if you don't have him. The Bournemouth mids don't make the table this week, but it's not out of the question for them to get a result against Spurs. Semenyo and Clive both on 4.4 points, those are the two I'd consider. Dango a little bit risky with Evan Nilsson's return from injury, and Evan Nilsson did start in the FA Cup and he scored. Bowen's ahead of both of them, he's on 5.1 points. He's on penalty duties as well actually, with Paqueta out for a bit. 2 goals, 1 assist in 4 games since returning from injury, just 1 blank. He's got Newcastle home, Everton away, Wolves away, which is a pretty nice block of fixtures, only 7.8% owned, but he does cost 7.4 mil. A couple of midfielders I'm considering for Gameweek 29, but I've not seen mentioned anywhere, is Gibbs White and Elanga from Forest, given they've got Ipswich that week. It's tempting to just play the fixture, and after that, in fairness, they're home to Man United. Moving on to the forwards, and the FA Cup weekend's really thrown up some surprises among the forwards, like Cunha getting a red card for violent conduct, so he's going to miss the next 3 games. Mateta picking up that awful injury as well, requiring, I think it was 25 stitches on his head, and there was fears of an Isak injury. Now Howe said Isak felt a tightness, not an injury, but he still had to come off, so it doesn't sound too serious, but who knows with Howe. Haaland tops the forwards table this week, he's just on 5.2 points though. For comparison, Salah was on 9.3 and Palmer 9.1, so I'm guessing most of you are captain one of the midfielders. Let us know in the comments, Salah or Palmer or someone else captain. Wissa in second looks like probably the best Cunha replacement this week, or if you can wait till 29 then Wood looks a bit better. Wood's got Man City in Gameweek 28, so it's not ideal buying now. It suddenly feels like there's quite a limited pool of forwards to choose from now, and more so they're playing 29 as well. I think West has really gone under the radar this season though, 12 goals, 3 assists, he's only 6.4 mil, 2 goals in his last 2 games. So isn't Nketiah an option then with Mateta out injured? Ordinarily he would have been nowhere near the table, but he shoots straight up to 3rd here with 4.7 points. It is a golden opportunity for him, having had a bad start to his Palace career really, with way fewer goals than he would have wanted, and he's got a point to prove. I remember there was a similar situation at Arsenal a couple of years ago where he was suddenly guaranteed to start against Sheffield United, I think it was, home, due to some injuries, and he bagged a hat-trick. A 2-pointer wouldn't be surprising here, nor would a double-digit return surprise me to be honest. Avoid him of course, unless you're free hitting in Gameweek 29, or unless you've already got like 11 players that play in 29 and loads of free transfers. At the bottom of the table is Beto on 4.1 and Strand Larsen on 4.0. Now we've got Cunha suspended for 3 matches, so Strand Larsen should look good for minutes. I guess he's one to consider in Gameweek 29 when they've got Southampton if he puts in a good performance this week against Everton. Beto's fine as well of course. The only thing with him is if you buy in 29, after that you really can't use him, as they've got Liverpool and Arsenal after Gameweek 29. Whereas Strand Larsen in a bit of a pinch could do a job for you. They'll probably both get 2-pointers anyway to be honest. Finally, very quick look at the managers. Who's projected to do well this week? So Spurs have got Bournemouth home, which is a table bonus fixture, so Postecoglou's on 10.3 projected points. Last week, the equivalent pick for table bonus was Glasner. Well done if you picked him up for that 20-pointer. And last week's non-table bonus pick, or the safe pick we shortlisted, was Maresca. 12 points, not bad at all against Southampton. And this week, Slot's the equivalent safe pick, 9.9 points for him. I'd actually just go for Slot over Postecoglou, to be honest, if you've got the chip active, just in case Bournemouth get a result, which wouldn't be that surprising, to be honest. Thanks very much for watching. There's lots of FPL content coming this week, so make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. See you soon for the next one.